Yep, that's the Ork Codex, and that's what I'm going to review today. Now, while played Marines, I played Eldar. My actually first army was Orcs, and I played them a little before 5th came out, so I actually got to use the new Codex with 4th edition rules, which was amazing for those of you that didn't know, because War Boss on Warbike was just everywhere. It was so much fun. But I'm going to review it. I'm going to start with the HQs, though, so let's flip to it. Okay, orcs have a decent amount of HQs. They have a decent amount of named ones too, and the thing is they're all playable to a point. Um, well, let's start with the first one, Ghazghkull Thraka. Okay, if you don't know who Ghazghkull Thraka is, most people say he is probably the most powerful independent character for his points cost, besides Abaddon. And really, considering the army, he's probably more useful than Abaddon is. He's 225 points, which not a lot of points. Weapon skill 6, strength 5, toughness 5. He's got the power claw, so it's going to be strength 10. 5 attacks, 7 on the charge. Not because he gets an extra one for the charge. He's mega armor, so he's got 2+ armor. He's got a 5+ invuln, and he cannot be insta-killed. Besides all that fun stuff, he also has what's called Prophet of the Wog, which means that on the turn that you wog, you get to go a full 6 inches. Everyone becomes fearless, and his armor save becomes an invulnerable save, and that lasts the next turn as well. So you could actually call the wog on your opponent's turn in combat to get the 2+ invuln, and then win combat or something, and then you actually get to move the 6 inches on your turn. It's really useful. I don't use Ghazghkull, but I don't have the model, and I think he's. I don't know if we want to call him cheesy or overpowered, but he's good. I do like the next one though, Mad Doc Rotsnake. He's ridiculous. He is basically got War Boss stats, strength 4, toughness 5. That's a little, strength 4, but he's got power claw, so not a big deal. Wounds of 3, attacks 4. So he's got, actual stats of a War Boss. But he is a Mad Doc. He gives everybody in his unit feel no pain, and he lets everybody in the army buy Cyborg for 5 points per model. Now, the thing about this is, you can give some things Cyborg armor that they really, I don't know if they intended to or not, like if you're familiar with Snickrot or Zagstruck, the special characters that are in the unit but they're not independent characters, you can buy Cyborg for them, and now they are basically war bosses. Wazdaka Gutsmack. He is really, really interesting. He has basically makes your army be able to be a bike army. Bikes become troop. He has lots of awesome guns, but he still has ballistic skill 2, so he's not that great at shooting. But he can shoot after he turbo boosts, so he can go, all the way to like the side armor or back armor on a tank, and then still fire, which is pretty awesome. He is also a mech, which a lot of people don't know, so he can actually try to fix vehicles if he gets in base contact with them. He does have a boss pole, which is actually kind of nice because the other ones here don't have. Ghazghkull has a boss pole, but Mad Doc is just a doc, so he doesn't. And let's see what else he has. That's about it. Now, Old Zogwart is the named Weird Boy, and he's the next one. He's only 145 points, and I believe he is probably the most underrated of these HQs. Not because he's a Weird Boy. The Weird Boy powers are awesome, but they're random, and he does have Warpath, so he can reroll. But the fact is he has 2 attacks, plus he has a D6 attacks, and all of his attacks always wound on a 2. Now, that may not seem like a lot of attacks, but the fact that they all wound on a 2 no matter what you're fighting, that's just awesome. He also has a special psychic power called Zogwart's Curse, where he can pick out a independent character within 18 inches, and if you're familiar with other psychic powers like Mind War or something, it's an independent character, killer or nerfer. You each make a test, and you add your leadership to it. If Zogwart wins, you're a squig. And the Squig stats are pretty meh. You lose all your special rules and all your war gear, you're a Squig. Um, let's see, what else about him? That's about it. One interesting thing, though, about Zogwart is, if you're familiar with the Warphead rules, or the Psyker rules, is if you get one of the shooting attacks when you're in close combat, the Psyker counts as having a power weapon. Now, because Zogwart's poison ability isn't war gear, it's just his thing, it actually does stack with the poison. So you have a wounds on a 2 power weapon. Not a big deal, but it actually will happen, you know, a third of the time when you're in close combat. Um, his stats are pretty mediocre. They're kind of like half war boss, half knob. Weapon skill 4, strength of 3, which that kind of sucks. But hey, wounds on 2 doesn't matter. Toughness 5, war boss, and then wounds of 3, initiative 2, whatever, and then the attacks already stated. It's not that big of a deal. Now, if you go over to the non-named HQs, you have war boss, Big Mac, and Weird Boy. Now, all of these, Weird Boy, I guess so-so. I mean, I like to throw them around in Apocalypse and stuff because I have the models. But if I'm trying to play seriously, I won't take them. But War Boss and Big Mac are definitely serious and very competitive choices. War Boss, I like to run mine with Power Claw and Tack Squig and Cyborg Body. Most people will take heavy armor on them, or you put them in Mega Armor, which is kind of funny. I mean, you gotta put them in a vehicle at that point. And the reason I take heavy armor is because you know what, my War Boss is there to deliver attacks. I don't expect him to live. Other people looks like, oh, my war boss is gonna kill people in combat like two or three different combats, and he's just gonna start rolling people. I'm like, not really. As soon as you come up against another infinite character that has a decent strength, your war boss will either insta kill him, or your war boss is gonna die. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's gonna be a 50-50 either way. He does have a monstrous amount of attacks, and he's really good at killing heavy armored infantry that doesn't have a lot of attacks back. So he's really good at killing Space Marines. Space Marines, while they're really good at tar pitting and assault, with that 3+ armor, 4 toughness, War Boss will just, rip them apart with the weapon skill 5, strength 5, or strength 10 with the claw. And now the Big Mac, the reason why he's competitive, honestly, is because he has custom force field, which gives any unit within 6 inches of him a 5+ cover, or any vehicle concepts obscured, which in 4th meant was reduced to glancing. In 5th now means you get a 4+ cover on your vehicles, so pretty ridiculous. You can give them a shock attack gun instead of a custom force field, and then that is probably one of the funnest little things in the game, besides actually having a Weird Boy work for you. But if you want to be competitive, take the custom force field. You can give him the same kind of armor, cyborg armor, heavy armor, stuff like that. You can give him attack Squig. He only has 3 attacks. He's only strength 4, so he's not going to be that much good in close combat. But he can take a Burna. Now that's good because you have more flame templates. But Ork Burnas, if you don't shoot them, they count the turn as a power weapon. So you can get with an attack Squig and a Burna 4 attacks, 5 on a charge with a power weapon. That's just nice. I mean, it's very useful. You can't put him in Mega Armor, and you can put him on a war bike. I've never seen anybody do either of those. It actually would be really interesting to see him on a war bike with a Burna. If I had the bits, I'd try to make one. Weird Boy, the only upgrade you can give him is a Warp Head, which is the reroll. He's got knob stats, exactly knob stats. So not a big deal there. You can't give him any better armor than a 6+ save, though. That's why he's not used. Same thing with going back to Zogwart. He's got 3 wounds, but he still only has a 6+ armor, so that's why he's probably not used that much either. That's pretty much it for the HQs. I will probably go into elites and troops later. Thank you for listening to this one, and give me comments if you think anything is wrong, or if I forgot something, or if you just agree. Alright.